Welcome back to the Bryan podcast, your South African hub for global aviation news and shop industry commentary. This week we've got a packed lineup. We'll dive into IATA's controversial push to raise the pilot retirement age, Africa's booming aviation sector and what it means for future career opportunities, plus South African Airways' new route to Gaborone and Airlink gearing up for the E2 jets. We'll also cover a tragic mid-air collision in Colorado, major Boeing and WestJet aircraft orders, and the latest engine troubles with the 787. On the tech front, Joby Aviation's stock continues to climb, even without any revenue, and we'll break down what pilots really carry in their flight bags. And of course, we'll wrap up with some sport, F1 drama in Italy, to the Springboks taking on the All Blacks over the weekend. How are you, pal?
Hey, guys.
What's happening, man?
Looking forward to an action-packed pod today.
As always. It's nice to do the pod on a Friday. It's got a different vibe.
Yeah.
Before we get to the news I just spoke about, I want to actually mention something critically important. I shot out a post yesterday on Fly Africa about basically I needed a couple of pilots for the our E-Jet certification, and I got such an amazing response. It got me thinking last night. Fly Africa is an incredible community of aviation people. It's quite remarkable how many people are on there. And I said to you before we started the pod. Now I said, a lot of people listen to our podcast. A lot of people, not everyone does. There's a lot, and a lot of them are on, say, the Fly Africa group. And there's other podcasts that people listen to that others don't. But it just seems that everyone is sort of centralized on that Fly Africa group. And I was wondering, do other countries, or it's Fly Africa, it's a continent, but do they have a similar thing in Oz? Do they have a similar thing in the States? I know there's a lot of these paid pilot communities out there. To be honest, some of them that we've been on, they're actually pretty crap.
Yeah, I wonder the same thing. I know the States, for example, I somehow landed up on this group. It's the private jet pilots called PJP. So it's a community, Facebook community for
so it's also on Facebook.
Jet pilots. So it's also on Facebook. Seems to be, it was one of those communities that I think was started more out of the corporate pilots saying, hey, listen, there's a gig up next weekend. Who's up for it? That sort of thing. But it's nowhere near the type of community that Fly Africa is. Fly Africa seems to be a little bit more tight-knit and open to helping individuals when in need, like yesterday's example.
Yeah, it's awesome for that. You need a bit of help. You need some names and you go on there and shoot out a message, and within 10 minutes, you've sorted out your problem. So it's an awesome resource. Yeah. So thank you, Fly Africa, the community there, and thank you to Duncan Gillespie for all the hard work you do there and for supporting us on the show. But let's jump into it now, this retirement age thing. This is a sort of a listener request. Quite a few messages this week asking if we're going to talk about IATA's plans to raise the retirement age from 65 to 67. They say it will help pilot shortages and keep air travel safe. Some countries already have no age limit for pilots and have good safety records. Plus, unions in the US oppose the change and want to keep the age at 65. The issue will be discussed by a global aviation group in September, so later this month. What do you think?
I think there's no getting around it. I think it's necessary. As long as someone's fit enough and you can maintain your medical, I think it's vital that we retain that experience in the industry. You need it. We're short of pilots, and you need pilots with experience to pass down the knowledge, to be mentors.
Yeah, we're short of you're short of knowledge.
Yes.
And you don't want that knowledge to leave the industry. They've got to stay in somehow.
They have to.
And it seems somehow crazy that you reach 65 and then off you go. And how are we transferring that knowledge back into the younger gen?
No, exactly. And
particularly these Gen Z dudes.
yeah, they
That could do with a 65-year-old pilot giving them a
worthy
reset.
yeah. You know what I was gonna say.
Yeah, B club.
But more to the point as well. Life's getting so damn expensive that it's probably a good chance that most pilots that have reached 65 could use the extra 2 years to boost up their retirement fund as well.
No, 100%. That's a very real thing.
Yeah.
But as you said, it should be based on your medical. And if you're fit enough to fly, then you should be allowed to fly.
I mean, there's a lot of them that actually at 65 will retire from an airline and then continue to go and fly locally for charter companies, as long as they don't fly cross border or whatever. But they crack on well into their 70s, and if you're fit enough, why not, man?
Yeah, unless you're into instruction, that knowledge is just lost. So I think if we can keep that age a bit higher, I think it'll help. In saying that, a lot of the messages I got this week were, I said, what do you think about it? And not everyone shared that same opinion. So I want to let's throw it out there. What do you think? Retirement age, push it up. Even 67, I think, is probably. I could push that up even higher, man. Okay?
Yeah. Like I say, if you're mentally fit,
like us.
Yeah. Something like that.
All right. Yeah.
Gone are the days where guys would be against it. Like, had you asked me that question 6 years ago when we were still at the airline?
Yeah, when there's no movement. And
we were sitting in that bogged down seniority list, and I would have said, no, make the retirement age 55.
Yeah.
But times are different now.
Times are very different now. So let us know what you think. Africa's aviation sector is growing fast with new airports, more flights across the continent. Passenger numbers are expected to double by 2044, driven by rising middle class and better connections. Many countries join the single African air transport market to make flying easier and cheaper within Africa. There's a big need for pilots, engineers, cabin crew, ground staff, and support staff. Africa offers great career opportunities for aviation professionals ready to work in a dynamic and expanding market. So you often hear things like this. There's a big aviation summit going on in Rwanda now. Hey, I think it's been this week. And if you go to one of those, you will inevitably hear these two major topics that are spoken about at all these things. The one is sustainable aviation fuel, sustainability. And the other one is collaborations. Everyone's collaborating. It's a wonderful word to use when you're on a stage. We must collaborate as an African nation, and we must do this. And so this article popped up, and I'm not so sure it is so cheap to fly around Africa. First of all, it's quite expensive. To fly, the prices are flipping high. Yeah. It's almost the same as flying to Europe, if not more, certain places. So it is not the cheapest to get around. And passenger numbers expected to double by 2044. That I fully understand. We've just spoken about the sort of the pilot age and the shortages on the pilot side. I wonder how those pilot shortages will affect that this growth that they're talking about, because to me it seems like the one point that is, I don't think they've got their finger on it yet as to how they're going to solve that problem, because the reality is that the difference in pay that the pilots can earn overseas is just getting wider and wider and wider, and it's going to be more and more difficult to hold on to the guys. So nice article. It is growing fast, but I just think there's a lack of proactivity and a genuine attempt to really, the South African air transport market that we hear about a lot, it's got massive potential, but it's not really tapped, is it?
No. Not yet.
Leave it there.
Yeah.
Come on, Ryan. Tell us what you really think. Is it bullshit? It's not bullshit because they're trying. We always, but you get, there's a lot of different countries on the continent, and every country's kind of trying to sort themselves out first. And this whole thing is sort of to open up Africa and be a bit clever about the way we do things. Instead of having two airlines flying the same route, why don't we sort of share some resources there? I think that's been the sort of general idea. And, speaking of these events, there's some wonderful events out there. And you go and my big bugbear I have with these things is you go there and there's never any pilots there. It's always sort of the C-suite people, and, they're the ones running the show. But very, very little pilot input there.
I just, it's all a fucking dream, actually, man.
Tell us what you really think.
It's not going to work. The whole, there are more in it for themselves. Every country wants to prove that they've got their own national carrier, and then they can do it on their own. And to try and collaborate and share this.
Isn't the competition good? I mean, isn't the whole thing that's happening in the Middle East? They don't collaborate.
No.
They're vying for a certain amount of passengers, and it's all based on the product.
Exactly.
And the passengers will fly on the airline that has the best product.
If there was going to be collaboration, it would have happened a long time ago, because Kenya Airways and SAA were trying to do that, and just never transpired. Obviously for many other reasons, but it's the same reasons that exist right now. Yeah, with all the airlines in Africa. So
let us know what you think on that one. SAA will start flying our old route, Joburg to Gaborone in November. Morning flight leaves at 6:35 and returns at 8:25. Wasn't that the best slot or the best flight? Wasn't there a there and back on a Saturday morning to Gabs or something, and then you went home?
Yeah, you got rostered for a Saturday morning, Gabs and back. Sign on 10 to 6, you're done by 9, and that is it. Yeah.
So it's a very, very short flight. Basically, can't remember what, cruise level, 220. Just as you get there, start the descent, and you into Gabs, and then quick turnaround, and you're back home. It was always a nice little sector.
It was like going around the block, man. Taking the company bucky for a spin.
Yeah, exactly.
but
did you prefer those short sectors? The quick when you were new on the aircraft is not like a. Yeah. When you're new on the aircraft, you want a bit of a gap between cruise and then getting yourself mentally prepared for the approach and landing into the.
I was so on top of it, it didn't really bother me then. No, Jax, but I actually did enjoy the shorter sectors because I like to be busy and
your day went a bit faster.
Yeah, I didn't really.
Double Gabs was quite busy.
Yeah, it was lekker though. It was my vibe. I loved those short little hops. Sitting up there for hours and hours on end, looking at the wild blue yonder.
Yeah. One of my mates from Link, I was speaking to a lot of guys from Link yesterday. Yeah. And one of the guys was doing a ETOPS flight. I can't remember where he said he was going, but it's a proper long haul.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. Geez, on an E-jet like that, it's quite a distance. And I suppose, I'm the same. Those busier days, lots of takeoffs, lots of landings, 100%.
Those long ones, you start to get fidgety, and your backside gets sore. And
not for you. CIA this week issued type certification for the E2 family, paving the way for Airlink's 195 E2s to start entering service later on in the year.
So E-jet is the
E-jet
flavor of the moment. Huh?
It is.
E-jet.
Mid-air collision at Fort Morgan Municipal Airport in Colorado. 1 person died and 3 others survived the accident. Don't know if you saw this one. It was on video. Of course, Cessna 172 and an extra 300. The NTSB is investigating the cause of the collision. Weather was clear. Both planes were approaching the same runway. It's so hard to see another aeroplane. It is. I think the general public have no idea. They see it. Oh, why didn't they move? Why didn't they turn? It's so difficult.
It's one of the scariest things about flying GA. I mean, you know what it's like bombing out into the general flying area when there's 3 or 4 flight schools with 7 airplanes each in the same area. And those things aren't equipped with any form of TCAS or anything. You got to be so on top of it, man.
Looking out all the time.
Yes, it's hectic.
WestJet ordered up to 96 new Boeing aircraft that include 737 MAX and 787 models. Order grows their total to 123 aircraft. They also have 40 options for more planes. The new planes will serve them well for nearly the next 10 years. Quite a big fleet, actually. It's a massive airline, that. I didn't realize how big it was. Staying with Boeing, they received 30 more orders for Maxes. It's an air finance company. Brings Boeing's total 73 MAX 8 orders to 70. The deal was finalized in July. The buyer is not named publicly yet.
Good news for Boeing, eh? At least they're still selling stock.
Don't speak too early. 2 Boeing 787s had engine problems. Both planes took off from Tokyo and operated by ANA and United. The planes were 787-9s and 10 models. Both planes returned to the airport safely on the same day. So they had, on the same day, 2 separate issues on 2 787s.
Jeez.
And this story is pretty cool. We've been following it quite closely. Joby haven't made any money yet because there's no revenue coming in, but their stock has gone bonkers. Stock price has risen over 170% this past year. The growth happened despite the company having no revenue, and many financial analysts find this surprising. Investors seem hopeful that the company's future has a strong potential. So if you did listen to us and go and buy that Joby stock.
Yeah. Hey? That's not how it's going. You're also buying some new tires for your Hilux here.
But we did punt that.
Yeah.
We did say, go buy Joby stock, and there you go, 170%.
I think they're doing a phenomenal job of selling the concept.
Franz Smith, I'm coming after your job. No one needs financial advice from the Bryan podcast.
Yeah, we know.
I'm not going to mention the Boeing stock I told everyone about.
Yeah, look.
Boeing stock is... I bought the Boeing stock.
It'll recover.
Yeah.
Just don't be pessimistic.
You gotta hold.
Yeah. Play the long game.
Yeah. Know when to hold them. Right. Your pilot bag, bro. I found this article pretty interesting. Popped up on, the Flying Mag. I don't know if you follow that on, it's quite a nice magazine. An airline pilot's flight bag holds essential items needed in the flight deck, like documents and navigation tools. Carry-on bags focus on personal comfort with clothes and toiletries for layovers. They reviewed a whole lot of flight bags for durability, comfort, size, organization. Pilots should pack licenses, charts, blah, blah, blah. And let's see if I can bring it up here. Right, what to pack in an airline's flight bag. So let's see here. So they got one ASA. So get rid of this. Air Classics crew trip bag. You can't actually see it there. Let me move this.
Let me lean across.
All right. It's one of those. This is... Yeah, that's the ASA one. Flight Outfitters Lift 2.0 bag. They're like... the reason I'm bringing it up is because, do you notice the trend? They're all going to like this backpack type of style.
I noticed that because
that's one I used to have. That what were those called? A Brightline.
Yeah.
B7 flight bag.
I noticed one of the crew members come through here the other day, David Asodabe.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty nifty backpack / flight bag type thing going. And I still thought to myself, yes, that's pretty cool. Because his looked almost like a hard shell cover.
Yeah.
But not quite. But nice square, decent size as well. And it's perfect for like what I would carry in my flight bag now, a laptop, iPad.
Well, that's why I bring it up, because not so long ago, it was you had your briefcase and everything was there, and if you were lucky, you dragged it along with wheels. Some guys didn't even have wheels. They used to cart that thing through international terminals, and that bit of a nightmare. And then it started going to these sort of Brightline bags. I must be honest, my Brightline bag didn't last me too long. It was modular, so you could add bits on, which is cool. But it just, I don't know, after a while, those zips broke or whatever it was. It's now a toolbox in my garage. And I reverted back to the old pulley type things. But I have noticed, as you say, a lot of guys rocking up with more backpack sort of style, easier to carry around. So that's why I asked the question, what are you using as a flight bag?
Yeah.
And as Ryan says, I suppose a spot for your laptop is priority number one.
Yeah, laptop, iPad. I mean, a lot of guys are carrying something like this now, iPad, the keyboard setup, which is easy because that's the way everything's going. Your flight planning.
That's all on there.
It's all on there.
And you need somewhere to watch Netflix in the evening. In
between your double Gabaret sectors.
Yeah.
No, look, definitely that way. I mean, and do you remember the old days as well when you had to keep a torch? You used to have those mag lights. Mag lights were the thing. Remember when mag lights were a thing?
I still got my mag light.
Yeah, me too. But it was quite big and boggy. These new torches now are quite nifty. You have to have a torch.
You have to have a torch. Your torch on your cell phone will not suffice.
No.
That drives me a bit bonkers with guys arriving sometimes for training. If you want to give off a bad first impression, that arrive for simulator training without a pen, without a piece of paper, without just unorganized. You always want to be organized. You want to have everything, and it must always be in the spot that you know where it is. If it's not there, you know that there's a problem.
Yeah.
Batteries not as big of a factor these days. I think some airlines are already trying to get rid of the battery pack type of things. Don't know how that'll work because pilots rely on those things. Cables, all that type of stuff. So it's a different type of flight bag these days. Let us know what you're packing in your bag there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Some sport, Paul.
Yeah, I think
it's a big sporting weekend.
Massive weekend again. Yeah. Tomorrow we play the All Blacks.
Yeah, that's going to be an absolute cracker. That's the biggest game since the World Cup, I think.
Yeah, and I think we're paying a little bit more attention after our first hiding with Aussie.
Yeah, that was a shocker. But playing the ABs is always the main. It's the main game. The Springboks get up for it, and so do the All Blacks. It's going to be a absolute cracker. 9:00 in the morning, South African time.
Yeah, it's a little bit too early to start with the beers then.
Yeah.
Bit inconvenient for my style of watching the rugby.
Yeah.
But that in Formula One.
Yeah.
Italy this weekend.
Felt sorry for Lando last week.
Last weekend's race was kind of hard to watch, actually. It was a good race.
It was exciting. I quite like that track.
Yeah. But a lot of unfortunate mishaps there.
I think Piastri's got a decent enough lead, and I think he's got the mental edge over the commentators. Commentators call him Lando, and then every other driver's called by his surname. Verstappen, Hamilton, Piastri, but it's Lando.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Pommy commentator's not doing him any favors. But the big one for me is the rugby. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
It's a different team than I anticipated. I thought they'd pick. Thought that Jean-Luc Dupree would be number 8. I think they've put Khaleesi back at number 8, but
I've read
Jesse Creel's the captain.
Yeah. Someone had said, and I don't know how true this is, but it might be Khaleesi's last big match for SA and the Springboks.
Unless they raise his retirement age.
Yeah.
to 35 or something. There's pretty min retirement age for sportsmen these days.
Yes, today.
Because the guys get into it so flipping young.
Yeah. And they make a fair whack of cash, but
there was a huge jiu-jitsu tournament last weekend, the CJI, and it's like one of the big money events. There's a youngster, I forget his name now, but he's like 17, 18, and one of the like real upcoming stars, and he's sort of fighting a guy that probably, I don't know, 27, 28, and there's like a noticeable gap in terms of speed and agility that this guy has. It's quite remarkable. So the guys are getting into professional sports so young. And even you'll see, I'm sure that's going to trickle down to rugby's still got a slightly older.
Yeah, I mean, the Oaks are well into their 30s, late 30s, some of them. But at least, yeah, they get into it young, they do pretty well. And then when they do retire, like say at their 40s, they've still got options. You know, you can go and become a model for Nivea or whatever.
Yeah.
Most pilots aren't going to do that at 67.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, thanks, Paul. We actually did put out a pod last week, but it was only on Patreon, so it was a internal one. So if you do want to join that, please feel free. Click the link in the show notes there. And once again, thanks to everyone that reached out to me yesterday through Fly Africa. I really appreciate it. And to the whole community for supporting us and supporting the show that supported us for how long now? A long time.
Yeah, a long time. And
season 7.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time. So couldn't do it without you guys, and really kind of proud of the show. You know what I did last night? Went down my usual YouTube rabbit hole every now and again.
Yeah.
And I was searching for, because I think if you sort of search for South African aviation podcast, we sort of pop up. Because we are sort of
niche.
Pretty niche.
Yeah.
It's good to be niche. And, but go search for like Australian aviation podcast or New Zealand aviation podcast. Not many around. So we got an awesome Fly Africa community, and we got the world's premier aviation podcast.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Bye for now.